Somebody left a comment about pecking order in Tonga, and it brought to mind and memory when we stayed in Tonga and Matahau how we talked about the rankings in society. How even in the villages today, there's a pecking order. There's a ranking among the kids. Because we went to Tonga, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. 86, I would have been 9. Yeah, so I was 8, about to turn 9, or maybe I just barely turned 9. We moved to Tonga, stayed in Liahona, stayed in Matahau. But when we got to Matahau, they had a pecking order. They had a ranking system for the age group, in our age group, where you, whether you liked it or not, if you're going to hang around with these kids, you had to put yourself in a rank in one of these positions, one of these spots. And so me and my brother, my little brother, the one that I ran around with in those days, my older brother just he stayed home and learned how to cook with my mom and did music or whatever. He's really this way. But me and my little brother, we had to go and we jump into the rankings. We had to go find out where we at, right? So where I thought when we first got there, I thought I was somewhere at the top, to be honest. You know what I mean? And we just started fighting. You had to go and fight to find where you're ranked. Physically go and put yourself in a position, because that's how the friends roll. Right? This is a group of friends. These are kids that hang out. You had to go, and everybody found a ranking, right? And this is another reason why I believe that no bullies exist in Tonga. You know what I mean? You go, and if you want, and because there were people that didn't even want to be part of the ranking system, they just want to come hang out. And you don't pick on people, right? So if you want to be in the rankings, and for me, I found myself in like, no, I want to come and hang out, but I don't want to be punked or pushed around, and yeah, get me into that ranking system right quick. Let's do this, right? So I fight a few of them, right? And I thought I was gonna win, but that wasn't the case, right? I fight this guy, Loy Kaumatore. That guy was a tough kid, right? I thought I could get him. He got me, right? I fight this dude, another dude in the house, Serimoti, and there's, other dudes. Until I finally knew and positioned myself and knew that, oh, these guys aren't scared. This is what they do. They have to do it. It's almost like, no, you have to. Or you're just going to be considered at the bottom where, we won't mess with you and we won't bully you because nobody allows bullying to happen. Nobody, right? You're either in the rankings or you're just not going to be ranked. Right, and there in that group there were a couple that at the bottom like, and they're not going to fight. They're just not going to fight. They're not fighters, not going to fight. But damn, were they good at making fun and talking crap? Like those guys were good at it. They didn't fight at all. But damn, it made for them to practice learning how to talk back and talk smack and right. And then they grow up and they become great kawa guys because they can talk the talk, but everybody knows these guys don't walk the walk. It's all right. We let them talk because it's funny, right? But at the same time, once I finally figure out in the first year where I was probably up number 5 or 6, maybe even 7 in the group, right? And it seemed like each church had a group, right? The Mamongas had a group, and the Westianas had their own pecking order and their own group to find out their pecking order because they hang out all the time. And the Katolika guys, the Catholic guys, they had their own rankings. And the Catholic guy in Matahau, that guy was a tough guy. He wasn't that big, right? He was smaller than probably all of us. But dang, did this guy have, I guess he just had the balls to challenge any of the top guys from any of the other, churches or religions or whatever, to where all of us considered him the top, right? So I thought it was interesting, and I was talking to my brothers about it and how, we in the society, it's a great way for us kids to find out who we are and what we're made of and whatnot, but at the same time, putting people into their spot position, so that they're aware of who they are. They're aware of who anybody else is. They're aware of the people who they need to take care of, right? In that order. It wasn't like, no, that guy did think he was a hia. He was a how, or he was the top guy did. But at the and he did maybe bully sometimes once in a while, but at the same time he knew where his limits were because sometimes the top guys would get jumped by two or three or four of the lower guys. I was one of those guys that got jumped because I thought, oh yeah, I thought I was big and bad. You know what I mean? And one of the two of the guys, right? One of the guys that I got jumped by was my little brother, right? And the other guy he's a day older than me, but he was shorter than me, right? My first cousin. And the other guy was my second cousin, right? Because I was pushing my weight around as a tough guy. In Tonga, they don't allow that to happen for any bullies to want to exist. They know, the bullies know their limit because they know that at any point in time, none of these guys are scared. None of these guys are scared to assassinate your ass, right? But at the same time, they all, with the reason why they would come together and take the bully down. I was a bully to my little brother, my first cousin, and my second cousin, to where they jumped me, right? The guys that we went to go to plantation with, right, back then, this is 86, 87, 80, one of those years, right? He said, okay, he stopped the horse. We were going to go and work with them, whatever. And I was over here punking and bullying them. He said, oh, all right, let's stop. Lolo, he's talking to me. Do you think you can beat them up? I was like, yo, ha. Then all three of these guys came together and they came and they freaking, to my surprise, they all took me down and beat my ass. All three of them. One of them because they were right. They felt bullied. They felt what is the word when somebody overpowers you and takes your freedoms, right? That's what they didn't like. And that's what Tonga understands, is that you cannot take their freedoms. That you can ask for things, you can persuade them to give you things that influence them to be nice, to be kind to you, but it has to be through kindness and through good influence. If not, don't ask it of them. But don't ever take their freedom. Don't ever think that you can take charge of their liberties and their freedoms and their rights, because they're going to end up taking you out, the top guy, whoever that is, right? That is like instilled in our souls. You can have whatever. We'll give it to you. But damn it, don't freaking come and asking and taking my freedoms and liberties, right? I'm still trying to think of the word. Oppressed. They felt oppressed, right? And so you cannot. So the pecking order is in place. You're in the pecking order. If you want to be in it, you're in it. If not, cool. Nobody will whakamahi you. We'll make sure that nobody punks you or bullies you. We already know that you're not part of this, right? But if you're part of this, you better know that where your position is where you're at. Because if you're up here, any one or two or three or four of these guys, if they want, they go freaking kick your ass, right? They'll jump you or rush you if they feel like you're oppressing them with your position, your high position, right? I've known guys to be hit over the head and cracked open, and because they were high and mighty bully type guys in Tonga, right? Where a lot of the stuff out here in America is controlled by fear. You fear them, you don't do anything, and they get to do whatever they want. Well, you can't do that in Tonga, right? You can't go pushing, that type of stuff around. Or you have to be nice and be good and be kind. You have to be a warrior, right? You have to, when it's time to be a savage, but recognize and know the pecking order, and don't bully. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that was just a thought I had as I was reading. Thought I'd share that with you. So anyways, oh gate.